Hello and welcome. Oh my god, guys. I love to talk about shaligrams. I only have a few remaining here. I just took a bunch of screenshots of shaligrams. This one, maybe let's just start with this. It's from it's from the Mangalam jewelry shop on Etsy. It's pretty expensive. Shaligrams. Their shaligrams look quite authentic. So this one is mind-boggling because I just am like, is this authentic? Because it's incredible. Like if right there, there's a chakra, but there's this opening. And oh my god, look at those little these things. Oh my god. All the little rings around it, all the way up to here, and then across this, around this way, around this way. So I'm guessing maybe a current went like this way and drilled into this location clockwise. And some of it broke off this way, some of it went up this way, and then this way. With a short circuit between it here, like it went up and then down and then over, even contributing to like this indentation here maybe. Oh my god, look at those little swirl. What? This is incredible. So many of these are incredible. This might take the show. Oh my gosh, straight line swirls, and then dendrite, and then the little loops, which we see all in shaligrams all over the place. Let me see if I can find the one that pops in my mind. It's because of its uniqueness. It's probably not the best example of that feature. Like, for instance, we'll see things like this, but sometimes we'll see those loops off of it. Let's see. I must have passed it. Maybe not. I have so many. Oh, there it is. I had not passed it. This one. These loops. But they're very strange. And then the way it has this little fanning out that wraps around this way maybe, and around this way. Oh my god. Okay, it's real. There's no question it's real. That's why these are so incredible. It's just like, I gotta keep that in mind as I'm looking. This shop is reliable. On top of that, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, the features are too, we see kind of going around. It's probably going around a pole, like at that point, around it, and then around over here, maybe like two, like a positive, negative forming, maybe. We see that portion pretty well right there. Going up and over. And then around here, we see some rounding up this way. Incredible. Okay. So, I took some pictures. Like 40 shaligrams. So this might take multiple episodes. I'm definitely going to be talking about these for a while. It's probably going to be like 2 hours to go through them. So last time I talked about this one, which very strange looking. I'm looking at it, and then I'm like, I come across this one, I'm like, and basically looking at it opposite there. And that's when I thought it was like a piece of a spiral of a shaligram, like a nucleus. And it was pretty cheap relatively, so I bought it for $42. So I bought this shaligram. We're going to get to see this shaligram in close. I also got a magnifying glass and a rock magnifying glass. The 30, 60, 90, the magnifying glass I think is 30, 40. Not sure anymore. But the rock viewer 30, 60, 90. So I'm really intrigued. And I'm like, wait, I can look at these way closer. Okay. Without further ado. So we'll talk about that one later. This is from Vu Traders. This one I just wanted to note because of the clearly like abnormality. It's very straight, so it's not like it just like broke this at a straight angle. Like it would break into little pieces that were still like not a straight line. But it also has a little curve there. We can see a little etch in there, a little etch in there, and it has like steps, larger ones, like 4 of them across here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 down here, but then divide into smaller ones. 1, 2, 5, 6, maybe 7, whatever's going on there. It's definitely, this one is worth noting. That's the side of it. I don't think I talked about this. I took this picture mainly because it's stacked, and I've been gathering. Maybe it's a good time then to real quick go to my Twitter, where I just posted this GIF. Stacks on stacks. Okay, back to what we're not. This thread stacks. These are sideways stacked. A little angle on this one stacked upward. Stacked, 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 stacked sideways, stacked, stack. So I took it for that reason, basically. And here's some more. And some more. This here is the opposite side of, I think, this rock. Or maybe this one. One of them. And then there's that picture. And then these ones. And then some new ones that I added to the list that we will get to, at least the other ones. This one notably, I noticed, I say notably not a lot. It happens, words that just, I start using them and then they get like out of style in my use. Okay, anyway. But this is at the side here, as well as this is at the side here. Just something that tends to happen at times when they're not like directly atop. They're actually a top in like a specific position. Okay, back to these. So this one, another angle of it. Flat face here. Flat face. So that's where that Shaligram this is. And then this structure here is around this here. Which, by the way, I was talking about a different one that looked kind of like it had this structure, but like laying down. But I think it actually was on a piece like this. After looking, it's still hard to say, but there is an image. Maybe I'll just show you what I'm talking about. This one here, where it looks kind of like it's sideways off of this, but then I looked at this image. I think it is just kind of broke at an angle, maybe, if anything, or it's just not even, like this image shows it pretty like that. It's probably there where we're seeing, so it's more normal. It's not the way like I was describing it in the last video. Anyway, another one was kind of stacked sideways. This is pointing at, again, at that spot, not at the here. It's got that feature there, pretty distinguished, but not etched out at all. And interesting. Another angle. I'm trying to get to the ones that are just like, whoa, these are on top of each other, but this one's curling off. It kind of makes, and opposite maybe. Like the opening is her. No, I guess I was doing the kind of similar. It's just this stuff is over here. This doesn't have it. This is clean. Makes me think, like, why? And like, is that related to the imbalance? This seems imbalanced because it's trying to be a topless, but it's also near the top of the stone, so it doesn't quite fit. So it went at more of an angle. It's kind of what I'm thinking, which maybe led to some discrepancy in these. I don't know. This one also notably. I need some synonyms. Synonyms for notably. None of these actually fit, really. Anyway. This goes across, like, not, like, past it here. Things of this nature make no sense from a fossil standpoint. I guess if a fossil breaks and, like, goes past it, like, it requires something of that nature to explain, but then, like, the one that we were just looking at that was just flat, like, way too flat, doesn't make sense with that. So it's like that kind of perspective where maybe the shell broke a little bit, like, doesn't fit. It doesn't, like, account for the full spectrum of data and be like, maybe not that then. Some other side of the rock, a different one. This one's reminded me of one of the, possibly the first one I took a picture of. It reminded me of 1A, 1, I guess, 1B right here where this side definitely was, the rock was hanging out with this spiral structure in it, but a pressure was being applied and literally just indented the rock while it's still malleable. Right along there. So this one reminded me of that. I'm not complete. It looks like it's doing it just by there. Like, it's not matching. So it must have done it here. It's kind of what I was thinking. I don't think it has. This is incredible. So galactic looking. It doesn't look like it is indented the same way, but maybe it folded a bit. I don't know. Oh, and unfortunately, some of the ones that really, we're just going to have to stumble on the ones that were just like, well, this is maybe worth noting where this branches off at these points, maybe, if anything, from here. This one also had a really, that's right, I found this one interesting because it just had this really thin but flat opening, like a narrow jet that was really elongated and not like occupying space in other directions, making it more, we'll see. Let's see. Nope, it just goes right out. Or what came right in there. Little crack in there. The straightness of this is kind of interesting. It looks maybe like a hexagonal corner there. Interesting shape as usual. Another one. I think this is... No, this is the same one. There's some more little etchings into the side. You can see the current flow paths on it. You can see them going down here and over here. I wonder if we go back, if we can see them go down, over, and up, like here going up. Nope. Very much over. Maybe because of the dominance of that direction. Even looks like it has little etchings in there along that axis. Looks like half of a heart. Just thinking if a current's flowing like dominantly down this axis. And like indenting a larger rock or larger chunk that's still not really formed a rock yet, but will be, and indenting it and splitting it. Something of that nature, I don't know. This one's interesting. This wraps around, like it goes from the top side around into the bottom face here and like taps into the chakra points. Probably has a chakra, although maybe not. No, maybe not. Maybe. I don't. It's hard to say. It just this makes me, the way it goes over top, it makes me think of this one here that wraps around and then goes up and atop it and like participates in being part of the structure in a way. This one's incredible. Still incredible. It's just still incredible. But yeah, doing it just not quite as defined and as cool in those ways, but cool in its own ways, where it connects across, like from here down into that side. Maybe comes out here and like removes contaminants like the rock, and the more subtle current flow passes in and pushes into this and etches like what's going on here, but then ended up like popping the cover and relieving pressure while it's flowing in from this way, just like wrapping around here and then flowing into here and then up. But from this side, wrapping around this way, like getting pushed out, pushed and flowing around, and then flowing it back in where then it was separated maybe in part enough to create that, like the structures in there. Okay, another one with just a straight line off the side, a real anomalous little bend there. Like doesn't have the same structure over here as over here, I'd say. With a fracture here, so like possibly somewhat related to this boundary, like within it, up. Another side of the rock. Let's get past that. Okay, here's another one. I'm gonna keep pointing these out because they're a big part of what I'm talking about. Again, up, sideways, down, and then like this anomalous feature down here that's not really part of the Shaligram, but has the Shaligram features clearly formed in the same process. Like this is another conclusive proof that Shaligrams are not fossils, because the currents that produced this structure continued and like flowed out here and then flowed this way because they were being encouraged away from the pressure of the spiral to a point where they then etched a path this way that's has the Shaligram features, like the little crevices, the teeth, but is not part of the like Shaligram. So this fossil would have to have like an added shelp component over here because it extends over here. It would be one thing if it like came off of this, then it could be refuted that this had like a larger chamber over here, but it continues distinctly with the teeth here. Conclusive proof these are not actually fossils. Another side of the rock. Another side, seeing some of those teeth features even over here, like randomly, really. Not randomly, but in the currents and at specific points, probably. just kind of not with the rest of the structure in that way being random. This one's crazy because it is like on a pedestal. Naturally has a stand. How cool is that one? I just thought it was cool. I didn't know what to make of it. It's really distinct dendrites on it. I wonder if they like extend down here a little too much. Possibly. It's hard to say from this picture. Let's see. I guess it could be in the same way disputed that the Shaligram continued over here. Although, like, what's up with that? The fossil, the shell of the creature. This thing's going up, though. Interestingly, it's kind of like a half of a hexagon, too. It's almost like five of these, like these things, five of them together have a point, a midpoint, a point along the, possibly there, maybe? Oh, but really far. Maybe something of that nature. I don't know why it would be doing that like that. Another one. Nothing particular to say. I'm not sure. Not sure what I thought about this one. Maybe I just thought it was cool. Oh yeah, this is what I thought. Like, wait a minute. Let's go back. This here, I guess over here, maybe this chunk here is part of it, or no? Possibly here. Yeah, probably here, like this way. Looks like right here. That section. Okay, let's see. Is a Shaligram structure. What? Oh my god. Wait, is it a cross section? I guess it's a cross section. Here. This is a cross section, but I guess this would be a cross section too. But it's like one structure. Over here it's not defined, but you can kind of see the angle from here, like going this way and then over to this little coloration and then down. So it's almost like a cross section of the spiral itself is a Shaligram like opening shape. Like it has a lobe over here, it has chakras here, and then a lobe over here. This chakra is way bigger than this chakra. Positive, negative, even. I knew there was a reason I took a picture of that. I was like, this one I'm not sure again. I think it's just these little cracks, really. I thought they were interesting. Did I just pull up the... I was about to say noteworthy. Accidentally clicked somehow behind the maximize page to pull up synonyms. Let's say, it's especially noteworthy. Fuck. What doesn't cover it? It doesn't fit the word. Okay, this one's not too exciting. The little features again, just anomalously shaped there. It's not like symmetrical or whatever, not continuous. It loses the shape. I could have sworn I saw some there. I took a bunch of pictures of that one for some reason. This one was interesting. It had a pole and then this wrapping around another one at this pole. Like a positive negative terminal. Maybe. Whoa. Wraps around. And then almost like straight from terminal to terminal. These currents, they don't reach up here really though. They do reach to here, which then is maybe some sort of connection between the two terminals of the rock, where it's having like a really battery, like more of that type of features to this rock than maybe typical. This goes up, and maybe like just reaches it there, at which point where whatever reaches this gets like into this where it goes up this way. Another one with like non-Shaligram complete images or features. Parts of Shaligrams, like it's got the little teeth there to a degree. And then this has a spiral shape, seemingly. That's what I thought interesting about this one. Like it looks like a spiral itself. This one just had cross currents. This one, I remember, if we follow this one over here, it's on the smaller side, like in terms of the width, for just looking at the other side. So when we go to the other side, I think this is the same side. Same side. Very cool features over here. The way those happened. Whoa. Another crack going just above it that I guess connects in maybe, and one that goes off this way. Okay. Same side. No, small side, big side. Big side, small side. So the small side where this narrow one comes to the bigger side gets way bigger. And then it goes narrow. Over here, I guess? I'm not sure. Or maybe it splits into both of them. Like, where it goes down here, it actually goes to this one right here. And then it goes that way. Let's see. It's possible. Or am I looking at this from the wrong side? Long, straight side. It's probably this side. Yeah, the side where more material is has this bend. Where this one kind of just goes straight and bends back here. Straight and bends back. So the side where more material is the side that has the bend. So if it's going this way, it's going to the side with the bend. Oh, yeah, so it's going over here. From here, it goes over here. Right. It's got to. I don't know what happened. I guess this one becomes this one and really dies off. But so this narrow channel gets wider and wider, fans out, and then it separates, goes this way where it basically wraps back around. It's got one side of it wrapping around, another side goes down and around to this side where I guess it interacts with current coming this way. And then it goes across, generally goes across, and this current, it comes off this corner, which is probably just this coming across generally, like what does make it across here from the end, doing the same wrapping around, just not as substantial. And then it rejoins over here more, like it was substantial enough that when it kind of started to fan out in a similar way to this one fanning out, it created this channel and this secondary channel, and then interacted with the cross current coming in here, I guess creating pressure, so it flowed this way and it's like skipped atop the rock until they merged more, but this went across. Maybe it vibrated like this. This one maybe went like this, this, something of that nature, where this one went maybe more over this way, and then this way, and this way. I'm thinking, like, are these opposite? I think they're doing opposite. I almost need to take a picture real quick. And just draw it. If we just draw this here coming in this way, and then going across, and then this way, and then there, and I guess there. Or, oh crap, I can't undo it. What is that? I think that's where, or maybe this way to here. instead of here, and then just does something of this nature. Whereas this one comes in here, interacts with the green. That's also flowing more like, you know, more in the above the surface, basically. Like these are both flowing above the surface of the rock, not just along the surface of the rock and etching the rock. Then it comes across though here and just generally comes here and deflects there. Maybe I was right in that first one then. Goes there. Goes there. But this green one was probably right when it went more here and back this way. It just bent sooner, probably. Essentially the same thing, but like pushing out the boundaries of this and etching in a material. Wow, this one like broke off that way. Cool. Okay, that was cool. I didn't expect that. Cool. And then it's thin too. So like, what? Like this thin rock has a current wrapping around it that's doing this. And then it has a pole as well. It looks like maybe this is where the current's going this way. So maybe it goes in here. If we go back here, it also, let's give a polar color of red. Comes in here. I guess that one goes back, but it generally comes in this way. At which point, let's go back to this side. That's hard to say. Goes this way. Just generally, I guess, ends up wrapping in here and around here and building up material here. Although it looks like it then goes that way. Maybe it short circuits a path that way. Like this current also goes here. Once this eddy starts to form here, and then that pulls in material from this current that brings a channel this way. Maybe. Okay, let's move on to the next rock. Another one that wraps around, I think, kind of, although maybe not. Straight line there in terms of like straight from this. Like it goes this way, wraps around, and then straight out. And then down the rock. And then goes this way, and then turns at basically a 90-degree angle, maybe. And goes up this way, but then runs into the resistance more, bends more into a loop where this one just goes like, alright, I'm out, and just goes straight through it until it bends here. And then maybe like the dendrites starting between those two lines at like a balance point in terms of where this changes. So current comes around here and just kind of squeezes. Pushes this way. Squeezes. Squeezes through here, up through the rock, and like bubbles it out maybe, which then comes around again, similarly from the other side. Around and wraps back to flow. Like it's I guess, forming with an actual flow of the atoms of this rock flowing in the currents enough where they're forming like flows that go to like a chakra, through the chakra, out the other side, and balloon the structure, at which point like a vortex is forming in here that can break the wall of the structure itself, which frequently happens but didn't happen in this rock. Okay, we're at 40 minutes and I've made it through, I think, like two fifths. Let's see, what do we, I have 242. I started 242 and I have 288. So we're through 15 out of 46. That's a third. I mean, it would probably be good to not. I guess I could do half. Try to get to half of 40. What was it? 46. So I'll try to get to like 65. Okay. 265. Okay. Let's move on then. 20 minutes. At this rate, I guess. This one, I just noted it either divided or joined, one or the other. There's a mound here. So this looks like it's going into resistance. Like, if we, at this angle, it pretty well splits the mound. Like it's running right into it and then meets enough resistance where it bends. Reminiscent of Hawaii. The Hawaiian Emperor Seamount chain, and like the Western Pacific where, let's use this one. Portal. Western Pacific, this region, like it runs into the resistance of this mound. That's it, like exploding and pushing up like a ledge almost, that then is in the currents. And when this sphere of Hawaii rolls back and runs into it, goes this way. Goes into the resistance and then goes straight, like with enough momentum maybe. Really branches off there. These are kind of parallel looking and perpendicular looking. So I don't know what to make of these things particularly. I'm just not even sure what's on this rock. Okay, it was just those three. This starts out narrow and starts to fan out, and looks like it even does, maybe it runs into resistance because there's this thing here, or it merges with another current. Flows this way across here, goes that way, and another current maybe flows in there and goes to this boundary. Which is probably what is happening always to make these teeth, is two currents that are coming at different angles and then doing this thing along the same like weak point in the rock. Which then creates, if they're in unison, it creates like, depending on the angle and the like, if they're in unison, it creates structures that are in unison. This one's out of sync. Like this goes up past this one. Out of sync. Depends on circumstances. Okay. Another one with a cap on top that smoothly connects to the bottom, to the side as well. Maybe as it like spirals out the ammonite structure, it cuts this off at some point so that current can't flow back to this side. Notice this side, that's why I was going ahead. This side's that big old bubble, where this side is just almost gone. Has a straight edge here, straight edge here, straight edge here, relatively. It's relative approaching hexagonal to a degree. Another straight line here that goes over here. Comes around this way. Possibly down there. I don't know if there's any pictures of it. Another one doing the same thing. This one looks like it is missing its material on this side. Like it was flowing over and then this piece just fell off. It wasn't stable enough, maybe back pressure. Because it was probably flowing. It probably flows in this side and out the other side. The side that has this structure around the Shaligram is the inlet of this current that's flowing into a chamber that then is like ballooning the rock itself, but also passing the material through so that it goes out the other side more like this. Although this one's really lacking material on both sides, like it used it all to make this structure where it's almost like the whole rock is the ammonite. So maybe it can like consume itself completely and become like a perfect ammonite. This is what I'm thinking I purchased, is something of like this piece here that broke off a really big one. Another two. This one, I try to like envision like where is the boundary of this. We can see this edge here. So it looks like it comes in like here and around there. Basically reminiscent of the times like where there's a nucleus of one eddy. There's two systems adjacent to one another that have nucleuses and outer rings, and the outer ring of one system extends to the nucleus of the other system and vice versa. I'm not sure if this one's like extends over here also, but this one's doing it to this chakra point. Definitely showing a relationship to that kind of thing going on for just like a optimal exchange of energy point. It's almost like a chemical bond, molecular bond, like a molecule, like two systems bound to one another that are atomic fractally. This one's just beautiful and perfect in the way it is. Okay, we're doing pretty good. Nothing, I don't think there's anything too exciting on this one. At first glance, let's see, I don't want to just go right past it without looking at it. I just want to get to some really cool ones that are like, dude. Although, some of these are like, oh my god, didn't expect that. Like this one I did not expect. That's incredible. I'm stoked to be able to like, I might have to show this because like what? Like do it in another format. Specifically, like make an animation, at least Photoshop, draw on all of them more completely and more exactly, and like as I feel it might be. These are in line, but also totally angled. I wonder if this angles at the like center of this bulge for some reason, like here, over here though. And maybe along this plane, relating to that one. Like it looks like it's connected through here. Right here, like a float, like a waterfall. It's like a waterfall, but under pressure that went into the rock and spiraled. Although maybe it went this way and then this way. And like, because it looks like it pushed this boundary up to hold it. Because it kind of looks similar to this up here. If it is similar to that, that's incredible. What? Wait a minute. It's like within the structure. This one's structure continues with lines of it, and then literally it's literally part of this one's outer edge. I'm just making sure we don't have any more pictures of that. There's another face of it. Another face of it. I can see it. I can see the Shaligram features there. Let's get an example. It's more like it. That we aren't going to look at. I guess I'm like this kind of thing here with these features here, extending up to there where it even has that little line. I wonder if it extends through there subtly. It's hard to say from the pictures if there's like a current path in the inside of this, like a water, because of the waterfall aspect of it. I've seen one that was connected up here, very much reminding me, I guess, of one of my favorites because it really proves these are not fossils. This one, where it's literally, here's one and then a second one, but they're conjoined seamlessly as one system. But this one's bigger, this one's little, so it doesn't have that same like waterfall thing going on. Although I guess it could be just upside down when it formed in this case, so maybe it's not even the top side. Like this might not have been like the top side, but it looks like it did go from in here into here and spiral this way. Like for them to be connected, it's spiraled this way. Otherwise, it would spiral this way, and this doesn't make sense. So it looks like it spiraled. It went down and into the rock and then went up, but then it ran into resistance and bent. And then they just created a boundary that was part of the Shaligram structure that really shows that it happened like that. Okay. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good for an hour. This one, another one with just like what? Little points out of it. straight with this bend. I think the explanation for things like this are some like trace fossil where some like an organism did it. Things of that nature that are like an organism did it in a shaligram shapes. Like, what is going on there? Okay, let's keep looking at this rock. This one, this has this is kind of perpendicular to that. Teeth down here, maybe teeth there. This goes like straight up to this pole. Like it goes this way, and then it gets to like the center here. This line goes up to it, and boom. Where this one maybe goes also, but maybe doesn't make it. Let's see. This also looks like it's related to this little corner where this is like this path. So maybe there's a current flowing generally along this axis that the rock itself having this shape like leads to it ramping up over here and has like a pole here and maybe something going on over there too even. Up towards there, there's something there. Ooh, we got some interesting things going on here still. So along this axis, but going up through here and then here maybe? Whatever is going on there. Just etching little... like, I'm like, is that part of a shaligram? It looks so strange, whatever happened here. Little mustachio. Straight line to this little peninsula thing. Just oddities. So the pole is, let's go back. There, okay. This is probably pointing relatively not quite at the pole, so a little further. Like over that way, I guess. More, I guess this is really like the ultimate pole, maybe. It's hard to say. This one's pretty clear. It's going around. Maybe just like running into resistance here where even this one goes up. Like to go like it goes around, and at some point it runs into itself and ramps up. Or is this just another current? I feel like this current's going this way and dividing by this current. Incredible. Same Shaligram. This straight line continues. How many pictures of this? Okay. I don't want to just sit here looking at it and be like, alright, peace. I'm like trying to end it in an hour. I'll just finish this one and the next one regardless, because that's a halfway point and see how long this is. That looks right there. That little like extension looks relatively parallel to that, or at least like Ooh, this looks relatively in line with this one. It's almost like there's a current coming out of the rock here. Or going into the rock here. Comes up this way. This comes up this way. And then the dove goes here. Here. I mean, it kind of makes sense because there's this, that it's not coming out of the rock. It's hard to say. I'm not even sure where on the rock that is. Like, where is that? These things have so many features, I can't even find them all. Okay, okay. It is opposite, like on the bottom, on either this side with the bulge or not on the bulge side. It is on the not bulge side. I was saying there's a current wrapping around, and I was saying it's wrapping around this way, because it definitely is wrapping around this way, and then it goes this way and comes around on that side, around here. Around here. So it just continues here. Around, continues there. Where maybe it goes around from there down to here and back towards the center. It goes down, around, and up along the back this way. And then down this way. Maybe. So why would it be etching? It's almost like it's running into resistance. I'm not sure what to make of this. Like another current coming this way. It really looks like it's coming out here. Dividing. This one's coming out here. Some reason preferring to go over here to this boundary. Or maybe just more current along this boundary. Because it just looks overall like this from here to like over here along this region looks a little lighter. So it probably is like flowing across this way. Or I guess opposite, just because it goes in. My thought is it's going in because it's running into resistance and like going into the rock here instead and opening up a space in the rock. I don't know why I would do it in the way it is. Maybe flowing out over here and here. Goes into the rock and flows out at two locations relative to each opening, maybe. If there is a channel there, that would be... It looks like there might be. One there. But then it just flows like at this boundary here and then divides and rejoins this one. It's still a little odd that it goes this way here. Like if this goes over here, I guess it could do that, and then this one runs into this resistance, bends off of it, but runs into this resistance, and so it starts to spray while building up more material here. So it is flowing this way. Okay, it's flowing this way. builds up material, produces this secondary current here, which then allows for like a more narrow channel over here that then fans out as it goes as well. Just like, could it do the other thing too? Oh my god, it could do the other thing too. That's crazy. Comes in this way. I mean, I feel like there'd be more detectable. That, maybe not. Maybe this has little teeth things in it. Because this one's interacting with it. It's so hard to say. I really think it's going this way, though. Going this way. I think this makes more sense that it goes around here and then goes there. Goes this way. Also, these little things here look like it's coming this way. And just interacting with this pressure and being caused to go over here instead. Then this all enters into the crazy part of the rock over here, where one current comes over here, etches in against the resistance flowing over here, it wobbles along the boundary, probably interacting with that, with the current flowing there, creating the teeth structure along it. Another one comes in here, maybe does the same and goes like there. Although I'm not sure why I'd bend back at that point. I can't remember which. I think it was going this way, so it would bend. Main current just digs into the rock. Like, there's so many openings into this rock, it seems. Branches off over here, or else maybe it branches off this way and a current comes in this way and they interact in this region. Maybe even produce chakras by cross currents. Dudes, so much physics, chemistry possible in those kinds of things. Holy crap. Okay, let's be real quick on this one. Pole, like you can see the bulge there, like right there in the shadow, with this feature clearly around the like structure of the rock, as if it's like related to it. Over here, bulge. I mean, it's not. It's a little odd. It's not around this pole, but it is around the bulge. This one looks so like atomic and galactic and things. I guess that's all the pictures of that one. Unfortunately, we don't see this one very well. Looks like it wraps around here, probably. Whereas that is maybe just this. I'm not sure how we would see that, though. I guess it could be part of this. This rock's a little similar shape across. This one's a little narrower at the tip, a little sharper, a little blunter. I guess this is sharper. It's just weird. There's no semblance of that over here. This structure. Alright. So I'll be back. I guess I'll save the rest for tomorrow. I was pretty excited to to just talk about Shaligrams, specific ones I still haven't even got to. Mainly because I don't want to forget the things, but I think I can remember enough. And even if I don't, like, it seems to be going alright. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out.